You ready?
Here we go.
Okay, you ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Week 1 recap of the BKS show. We had a wild week behind us. We're going to touch upon every single game. We're also going to look ahead to the upcoming games, and we're going to touch upon all league materials, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to go hard-hitting, really quick, so pay attention. Here we go. Okay, so I actually want to start with your game right now.
Yeah, I'll take it. I got the privilege of playing Braveheart. That's Mark Cohen's team, most dominant pitcher in the league apparently. We come in there. My guys, Sammy Estes gave my guys incorrect address details, so they went to a field on 102nd Street.
Was that on purpose? Is the question?
Guaranteed on purpose, and he was trying to enforce the start time. So I got Sammy for that. We started a little bit later than normal, but we kind of jumped right into it. Michael Diamondstein in there, ready to pitch, lefty.
Slow down for a second. So Diamondstein really is his first real go at the league.
He was in the league a couple years back on DT's team.
He played one game, and then I think he had to bail after that.
He plays in multiple leagues, the guy. So
what's your assessment on Diamondstein? Because this is a big pick of yours. You took him your first pick.
My first pick. He was my 16th overall in the entire draft.
So was he worth your first pick?
I still have no idea.
Wow, so tell me what Diamondstein did.
I mean, he was a clean pitcher. On the day he had 9 walks, but to tell you the truth, he had 4 of them were to Joey Levy. This guy's like a walking machine.
Yeah, Joey Levy's middle name is Walk. It's crazy.
So I don't know how this guy draws all these walks, but bottom line is Diamondstein did what he had to do. We did not play well behind him at all in game
Strikeouts,
one.
anything?
He had a couple strikeouts. There's one play in particular that I recall. Morty Shrem hit a long fly ball to left field. Apparently it grazed the tree, even though my left fielder caught it. And when the umpire called him out, asked Ree, the left fielder, he said, did the ball hit the tree? And he actually said, yes, it did. So he was honest.
It's an umpire discretion.
Umpire called him out. Because my player actually said it touched the tree, he was like, you know what, fine, we'll give him another at-bat. And then Michael Diamondstein went around and struck Morty Shrem out.
Wow. So Morty Shrem, another highly touted rookie coming into the league.
Played fantastic.
So shortstop defensively is all I really care about.
Defensively, literally 1 or 2 in the league. I mean, I love Steven to death. He's probably not better than Steven as of yet, but he's up there. He's the glove.
That's high praise, because we know Sammy coming into the year was gushing over him. And the league desperately needs a guy like Morty Shrem to not just be there to take the next step and be a superstar. Okay, so what happened in your games exactly?
So game 1 comes out. They're up first. They get out to a strong 2-0 lead. They're heads down and whatnot. I come out. Levy leads off. He gets on base with a single. Then I turn around. I hit a long fly ball to left field. Potentially could have been caught. It goes over Joey Levy's head. Turns into a home run for me. First inning, we tie up the game. They come up 4-2. I come up again in the second inning. I hit a ball to the right field line. Another home run over there. Before you know, we're up 5-2 or so, 6-2. We feel like we're cruising. Number of errors throughout the game. They start chipping away little by little, and all of a sudden it's 6-up. I don't know. I think it was top 7. Morris Franco, or actually top 8th. Morris Franco turns around, hits a bullet down the left field line. Solo home run. They're up 7-6 on us. We come back in the bottom 8th, and we get bases loaded. Haim Shrieky, another rookie on the team.
A lot of rookies.
He had a lot of nice shots throughout the day. Very impressed with his ability to hit the ball. And he hits a line drive bullet to Mark Benjamin toward the first base line. I guess it got away from him a little bit. Drops the ball, walk-off fashion, 2-run score.
Nice.
Game over.
So that's game 1. Game 2?
Game 2, there's really not going to be much to say about that. I was walked a number of times. We just beat them 10-1.
Wow. So game 2 was a rout, and I guess that just did him in. So.
Yeah.
Listen, that was your game's recap. We'll go again right away to the next one. I actually want to talk about the Stephen Gindy matchup against who did Stephen play?
So Eddie Niesim and Stephen Gindy played against DT Magic Ritz, who actually swept Teletubbies.
So the Magic Ritz week 1, we didn't do a show about it, but we'll talk about it really quick right now. 2 young pitchers in that game. We'll get back to the matchup this week in a second. 2 young pitchers in that game. There was Saruya, shows a lot of promise, throws hard. He's a lefty, has a lot of pop as a hitter as well. And you have...
He's related to JoJo, so that's what it is.
First cousin. Listen, they have it in the genes, they have it in the blood. And then you have Harari, who's the pitcher for Teletubbies. So listen, both those kids have a big, bright future. I got firsthand witnessing of what Harari could do. We'll get onto that a little later. But that game we saw, Teletubbies, it was an unfortunate type of day. The weather conditions were not great. People were freezing, but it was a sweep. Both games were tight, even though the scores don't indicate it. But going into this game, Magic Grits were hot, pun intended.
They were excited. They were on a sweep. They were the only team in the league 2-0 because they only played that one game.
Right, and they had the big advantage coming into the actual first week 2-0, and they actually blew that big advantage that they had. So, bottom line is, it was Eddie Nissim coming back. Last year, we all know what happened to him in the World Series. He was a disaster, a train wreck. Fell off the mat. He was there. He was ready, and then boom, he fell off a cliff. So he has a lot to prove. I know he does.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go into the World Series game. They don't want to play Game 3.
That's not the point. Bottom line is, Eddie Nissim did not do what he had to do, what he was set out to do, and he was pitching as a Cy Young the entire year. So right now, coming into the season, Eddie had a lot. I spoke to him in detail at length. He really had a lot to prove, and he showed it immensely. So I will tell you one thing. We're not going to get into that nitty-gritty of the game, but I do know Eddie Nissim didn't walk a batter between two games. Is that
between two games, not one walk?
No, that's something, as a pitcher, you have to tip your cap to. And Eddie Nissim, that is tough to do. Good job, good going. But I also know that the Magic Grits were betrayed defensively, and I know their captain was one of the contributors in a negative way defensively in the field. I know that Steven or someone else had ground balls to DT that he makes in his sleep, puts it in his back pocket, and you could ask DT, he should have it, he should always have that. Made a few key errors, and there were a lot of other errors in the field that usually they make all around, and I know they melted defensively and actually hurt them in a big way. So Steven, I think, what was the final score of Game 1? Final score of Game 1 was 5-2, I believe.
Yeah.
And Game 2 of that game, Game 2 was 2-1, so it's a tightly contested ball game.
2-1, but Eddie Nissim just pitched the gem, and that's it.
Hence the player of the week for Eddie Nissim. So, and now we're going to get into the next matchup right away. The next matchup right away, we have Spaceballs versus Fake 23 Blast.
All right, so Fake 23 Blast is Jackie Schwecke, Cy Young pitcher in the World Series. He pitched fantastic, and
the ageless Jackie Schwecke.
He picked up where he left off. I spoke in detail to Albert Richter and the team, and they said he pitched an absolute gem in both games. And Game 1, it was just a back and forth. They were playing Ray Estes' team with Freddie Hittery pitching, and it was a 3-0, 3-3.
Freddie Hittery and Jackie Schwecke are like the exact same person. There's a 60-year difference between them. It's amazing.
It is amazing, and the games were just back and forth. It was 3-0, 3 up, 5-3, 5 up, 6 up.
One of those fun games to be a part of.
It was. I mean, they're a firehouse of a team in terms of Fake 23 Blast. They have a tremendous number of bats. They were missing.
You're missing Yoni Sarfati.
They were missing their number 1 pick. So imagine if they had him there also, it would be a big difference. But apparently Yoni actually wants a pitch. I don't think he realizes that Jackie Schwecke is in there to stay. But that's a separate conversation.
Another story for another day. So final score of Game 1 was 8-5.
8-5. So Ray's team couldn't come back from that one. But after that, it was just everyone went to sleep. Both teams stopped hitting. It was 0-0 in Game 2 for the most part. Until finally someone broke it open with a 1-run, 2-run. They ended up finishing the game 3-2. It was a lackluster event for those teams. You're expecting huge runs, but
I think Jack Beebe was a part of that.
Jack Beebe apparently had some huge home runs. I mean, the guy can hit 3 fields over down the.
Everyone knows Jack has it. We haven't seen it consistently, and we hope this is the year it all comes together for Jack, because Jack's a great kid.
Yeah,
he's
amazing.
One of the best people I know. Really, I'm not even kidding. So he's one of those guys, if you have a daughter, you want him to marry that guy. And that's Jack. But I'm so happy to see him put it together on the field. We see spurts here and there, but what a great way to start, Jack. Mabruk, great job. And then that game too.
And the last game really is your game.
I just want to finish up the Fake 23 Blast game. Yeah. I know Bobby Safdie, Natan Safdie, they have a lot of firepower. Teddy Ishak. I was actually a little shocked they didn't score as many runs as they did. So I guess it's all the pitching, but maybe the defense behind them were there. I wasn't there as a representative.
We'll leave it till Week 1 warm-up.
100%. Now, final matchup of the day was the Teletubbies versus Met. So that's Jack Harari's team versus my squad. And going in, no one gave us any shot for anything.
I mean, I'll tell you the truth, I gave you even less shot considering you lost Sully Cohen, your first pick.
Right.
And you replaced him with Mickey Epstein.
Right, we can touch on this. Sully Cohen has a lagging injury. He told us right before the season he might be ready, might not be. Ended up not being ready for the first 6 weeks, so we had to replace him. Scrambling last second, we pick up Mickey Epstein, who will be good. He definitely will be better than his Week 1. He was playing out of position, and like we said, Week 1's chalked up to figuring the right formula out. But bottom line is, we had a 3-1 lead with 2 outs in the 7th with 2 strikes. We had a 2-1 lead in game 2, 2 outs in the 5th. So it's not like we can't win. We know we can win. The problem with the team right now is we actually just didn't hit a lick. Harari really dominated us. I had 3 hits on the day, and I think that was like the total. Maybe there was 7, 8 hits in total for my team. So, and not to say that I even hit well. I maybe had good contact on 1 ball. Harari threw hard, and he was tough to hit. We were letting him off the hook by swinging at high pitches, definitely. And the 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hitters maybe got on base a total of 3, 4 times, and you can't win that way.
Yeah.
Defensively, we were exposed because we were missing Eli Harari, who's in China, at second base, but because everyone had to play out of position after that, so people were shifting around. But week 2, we have an idea of what we're doing defensively. But really, the story is, I don't want to talk about myself, but the story is, can I pitch? And I proved to myself, and I guess to everyone else in the field, that I actually could do it.
I mean, they beat you 10-3 in
it
the
was
first game.
Again, it was a strike away of 3-1.
Right.
And I don't want to get into detail of what happened after it was 3-1. Let's just say the game could have ended at 3-1, and we'll put it like that. The one thing that was, it hurt me was fatigue, 100%. In the middle of game 2, I had nothing left, and I have to work on that. I used all my energy for the first 13 innings that there was, and after that, I was like, I felt like Jackie Schwecke out there.
Jackie Schwecke would have won three more games.
No, I'm just talking about speed-wise, or heat, wherever you want to put it. So, listen, Matt has firepower. Eventually, it's just nothing happened. We didn't score. Defensively, I think we'll be okay. We're getting no shot from everybody, but I'm pretty confident in the team after we saw it was a good team vibe also. We almost won both games. We lost both games, so it's one of those days.
I mean, time will tell. Everyone's ruling Teletubbies out after they lost and
not true.
They got
And
swept in
let's
the
talk
first
about
week.
Teletubbies. Jack Harari, by the way, he was awesome. He really was, fighting off pitches, hitting tough pitches, and little Gabriel Rudy.
Yeah, 2 home runs.
He's doing 1.5 home runs, or maybe even maybe 1.
It's a non-error league. It's a home run.
No, fine. I'm just saying, Rudy definitely put good wood on the ball. One of his home runs was a single. Let's just say that.
Okay.
But tip your cap to them also. Chaz, shout out, played a really good shortstop in absence of Haim Rudy. On his birthday, no less.
Right.
I think Chaz was like 50 or something that day.
Yeah, he's up there.
Yeah, it was Chaz, really unbelievable. But all around that team, I think that 0-2 start was really an anomaly because they look good to me. I mean, I don't know if that's a testament of my team, but they look good to me. So that was really the recap of all the games for week 1. Looking ahead to week 2, do we have the matchups offhand?
So we have the matchups. I know I'm playing against Reyes' team. I forgot their name.
Spaceballs.
So my team versus Spaceballs. I'll let you give a quick prediction as far as what's going on
well,
there.
Really, it's tough to predict or write these write-ups or anything, whoever's writing them, without really seeing everybody. So it's really speculation, but just based on knowledge, I'll play a part.
It's Freddie Hidary versus Michael Diamonstein.
Right, so Diamonstein versus Hidary, but listen, Hidary has success in the past. You can't say no. He knows how to get guys out, and as long as his defense behind him plays well, they'll be okay. So am I going to say they're going to win 2? No. Are you guys likely to win 2 games? Potentially, but I'm going to say I'm going to call a split anyway because whenever I pick against Freddie Hidary, there's a reason. Whenever I pick against Freddie Hidary, he makes me look like an idiot. So I'm saying split, and I actually think you guys lose game 1. How about that? You guys come out game 2 and just rip him another one.
I mean, we're missing Wedge, but I still think we're going to come in there and do what we got to do.
Okay, next matchup was, I'll just say about my matchup, we're going up against Fake 23 Blast. So there is some information going into the game. I do know that their shortstop, what's his name?
Albert Richter.
Yeah, Richter is coming in from Philadelphia at 6 o'clock in the morning.
From the Poconos. He's actually coming with one of my players.
Right, so that should maybe, I don't know, will that affect him? Will he have too much Red Bull in the car trying to get himself hyped? That may, I don't know. But from what I'm hearing, their lineup is strong. I know Barry had a great week last week.
Barry's great. Zool's great.
Zool is I never saw Zool hungrier in my life.
Zool still doesn't have a ring.
So yeah, listen. Maybe Zool's looking at this as his last hoorah. Maybe it's his last chance to win because how many years is Zool in the league for? Almost like 20 years.
20 years.
So without a ring, that's a pretty big deal. So I can understand that. And their pitcher Jackie Schwecke, everyone always wants to count Jackie Schwecke out, but you just can't. It's just at this point in our life, it's dumb to do that because Jackie just won the World Series and they couldn't hit him, and my guys are coming in, we want to hit Jackie. I'm like, guys, relax. Jackie knows how to get guys out. He does the little quick pitch. He knows how to get guys off balance. You have to be smart out there, and you have to hit to their weaknesses. So
I'm gonna call. I'm gonna say Magic. I'm I'm going to say Fake 23 Blast actually sweeps you guys.
Okay, so there you go. Once again, for the second consecutive week, our team gets no respect, and I understand that. Listen,
until you guys prove me wrong,
we have a lot to prove.
And El Herrera is still in China, isn't he?
El Herrera is not here this week, but we rearranged the field. I'm pretty confident in our team this week. Listen, I'm not going to call my own game, but I'm calling a sweep anyway. Boom. So next matchup was
Braveheart versus Magic Grits.
So that's DT's team going up against Sammy S's
Mark
team.
Cohen.
Right, Mark Cohen. That's Mark Cohen going up against Saria. That's actually a great matchup.
I think that might be the game of the week.
That actually, not probably, that is the game of the week. We had two really good pitchers. Mark, we all know what Mark could do. Both lineups are actually really strong.
Yeah.
Again, a standout player for Magic Grits is JoJo Mamie.
Right, I heard he's fantastic at third base.
JoJo, and he's a kid. He's like 18 years old. He's actually my first cousin, but I didn't think he was going to be this good coming into the league. I said, let's give him time, but he came in right away. In week one, we all saw what he did with the base hits, and again, he is a lockdown third baseman. Right. He is right now, probably leading candidate for Gold Glove at third base until proven otherwise. The kid makes every throw, he gets to every ball, and the best part about him is very humble and very edemy. You don't hear a word from him. So again, big shout out to him.
That's huge.
No, that's a big get for the league also.
To Sammy's credit, his team will have Avi Estes and Leo Estes back in the lineup, which definitely
that's a big shot in the arm. Big shot in the arm.
So they'll have a cleaner outfield out there, but I mean, they have a lot of work. Mark Benjamin, believe it or not, he's fantastic. He's a great tennis player. He used to play a lot of softball. The guy can go to every single field.
I believe it. He's an athlete. Everyone knows Mark's an athlete.
He's really fantastic. He's been off for quite some time. So I think they have a solid team with Mark Cohen pitching. I do think if Magic Grits had such a hard time playing against Eddie Nissim, I think they might have even a harder time with Mark Cohen. And I'll call a split and potentially Mark Cohen sweeps.
So I'm going to go out there and say I think Mark Cohen's going to sweep him. I don't think their lineup, like you're saying right now, very, very eloquently, if they had a hard time hitting Eddie Nissim, Mark Cohen's going to be a nightmare for them. Again, Mark always could surprise us and implode like he does from time to time, but he hasn't done that in 5 years.
Yeah, he really hasn't done that in years.
So in this league in years, which is to me still doesn't make any sense to me. Brooklyn, somehow Mark is Cy Young, and Mark somehow loses his magic and his mojo when he goes elsewhere. So either way, I think Mark's going to sweep him. I think that team is just too strong for them all around. The way you're saying that Morty Shrum at shortstop is the real deal. I see him having another big week, and that's just my prediction. Take it for what it's worth.
I think it's great. And then the last game is Stephen Gidney's team Moneyball versus Teletubbies, which is Jack Harari's team.
So I just saw Jack Harari's team. I know everyone was down on them after week one, but I actually looked at their team from top to bottom. They're pretty good. They're not bad. They're better than you think.
I've always thought that they were actually one of the best teams, best fielding teams. I know Abraham Rudy's fantastic in center field.
So it's funny, Abraham Rudy. It's funny you say that. Abraham Rudy was a huge difference maker against my team last week. Abraham Rudy made, even though they weren't well hit balls, they were like bloops. He made like 3 diving catches that saved runs. Like we scored 3 runs in like 1 inning, and then like 2 runs. But we didn't score for the rest of the game because Rudy was there every single time. And I don't know if what I'm going to say is true or not, but Chaz at shortstop he just looked better than Chaim Rudy, even though that's crazy to say.
Chaim Rudy's fantastic.
I know he is. I played with him. Blood, sweat, and tears 4 years ago with Ricky Shweki. He was on my team. He was great, but Chaz was, and this is Chaim's first time back in 3 years. He was in India, literally in India for 2 years. So, I do think their defense is, if they put their defense in the right position, which might take them some time, they'll be much better. Sometimes it's a lot of ego to swallow to move around for the right defense. But maybe Chaz is better than Chaim at shortstop, but they'll never do it.
I don't see it happening, but either which way, I think they have probably one of the best defensive teams out there right now.
I wouldn't know
Can
that.
they hit the ball, though?
No, I wouldn't know. Okay, did they hit the ball against my team? Again, they were being shut out 2 games almost, and then they exploded when a lot of errors and things happened and whatever. So they can hit the ball. Listen, Busu lost 100 pounds, literally. So he can't hit the ball out of the infield, but he's hitting the ball hard. He has line drives. So Busu's still a great hitter. Abraham Rudy, he didn't really impress me so much hitting wise. Right. Jack is really a feared hitter. Tough out. You pitch him up and in, he'll turn on. You pitch him out and away, he'll get on top of it. Jack's one of those hitters. But after Jack, you're right. They're a very light hitting team, and I think they could piecemeal together some games because Harari, their pitcher, is that good.
I believe it. I heard he throws hard, and if he really does, it'd be great to see. But I don't know. Steven has always the leadership behind him. He's
100%.
definitely going to make something really happen. The only thing when it comes to that team, David Catton, apparently his knees are out.
Before I show him my David, we heard you tore something. If you need any help, reach out to me. I just came off a major knee surgery. It can be tiring and gruesome. It's a long recovery, but please get better soon.
He's had multiple surgeries himself, and he knows what this feels like. So he got his MRI. We'll see what happens. Hopefully.